Hi, welcome back. So in this video, I just want to share with you my Linux journey as a developer, which Linux distributions I have used in the past, and which Linux distribution I am currently using and I will be using in the next upcoming months. Okay, so let's get started. So as you can see, this is Linux, right? And this is the Ubuntu 26.04 LTS. Okay, so this is quite good, right? And if I just show some of the applications to you, as you can see, I have a bunch of applications here. Okay, some of them are only apt based, basically the native applications, and some of them are flatpaks. Okay, I do not use Snap that much, but I have the App Center, the default Ubuntu App Center running here. Okay, so this is basically it. And also, as you can see, inside of the games, I am having Steam and Goverlay and many of the other things here. Okay, so as you can see, this is quite good. All right, so let's get started with the journey. So first of all, I have been a really long time Windows user. Okay, so I started my development journey on Windows, and more specifically, it was Windows 10, not 11. Okay, and Windows 10 was really good on my hardware. It worked just like a charm, and it works very fast as well. But the thing is, Microsoft has discontinued the support for Windows 10, and we are forced to upgrade to Windows 11. So I did that. I upgraded to Windows 11, okay, in my machine, and that worked well. But there are some of the problems. First of all, for software engineers, Windows is not that much of a good operating system. Okay, many of the things such as NVM or many of the bash scripting things like the bash shell scripts do not work in Windows at all. Okay, also it was a very much pain to install different versions of Node.js and many of the other things, and keeping up with the Windows updates is a nightmare. Okay, I was just praying like, hey, my device do not break please, after updating the Windows. So this was a painful experience, but I stuck with that. Okay, and for development, Windows have the WSL, the Windows subsystem for Linux. Okay, so I used that, but the problem with WSL, it is not like total Linux. Okay, like it is Linux under the hood, but it is not that much reliable. Okay, many of the times when I open some folder inside of the WSL just randomly disconnects. All right, so this is a very great pain point for me. All right, so then what I did, I went to DistroWatch. Okay, this is a really great website if you want to learn more about a certain Linux distribution. And as you can see, there is this chart here on the right side. Okay, and there was the Cache OS there. Also, there are many of the other things as well. I have tried many of the other distributions, such as the Zorin OS. It was really nice, like the experience of Zorin OS. I have tried the Linux Mint. That was really nice as well. But the thing is, both of the Zorin OS and Linux Mint was based on Ubuntu, and most of the time it lagged behind the current Ubuntu version. So I did what many of the other people can do, is to distro hop. Okay, so I distro hopped multiple times, and I settled down with Cache OS. Okay, so this is the Cache OS website, and the Cache OS was a really great experience, to be honest. Okay, so Cache OS is really great. It is optimized for gaming, and there is a bunch of things pre-built, which is really awesome. I did try Omarchy as well, okay, after installing CachyOS. But the thing is, I do not basically get well into the Hyperland and the tiling window managers. Okay, so I do not like that much Omarchi. But don't get me wrong, Omarchi is a really awesome distribution, and I highly recommend it to you if you like to use Vim or something else like the you are heavy on keyboard. I'm not that much heavy on keyboard. Okay, so CachyOS it is, but there was some problem, and the problem is not with the CachyOS. The problem is with the AUR. Okay, so if you remember, in the recent times, AUR have been attacked quite a lot. Okay, and there was some of the malwares as well in some of the AUR packages and so on and so forth. And CachyOS is based on Arch Linux, and Arch Linux is a rolling release distribution, which is a good thing and a bad thing at the same time. Good thing because you will get all of the latest software updates. Okay, that is really great. But the bad thing is your machine might struggle a little bit. Okay, sometimes some of the things can break. All right. Also, one of the other things which I do not like about CachyOS, and I can get around with that, to be honest, it uses KDE Plasma, but you can use GNOME as well. But the KDE Plasma desktop environment is the default one, and it worked pretty well, to be honest. But the thing is, the styling and the title bars are not that much consistent. Okay, as you can see in this particular picture here as well. So this is the terminal, which is the default console terminal which KDE uses, and please see this one. So this is the title bar, and as you can see, it is quite narrow. But this is the CachyOS Hello application. It is a GTK application, and as you can see, the title bar is quite large. Okay, so this sort of small little things are a little bit annoying, because you will have the KDE, which is the Qt applications. Okay, then you will have GTK applications, and then you will have Flatpaks. Okay, and many of the times the things mismatch. Okay, the title bars and the stylings mismatch, which I really do not like that much about KDE, to be honest. So then I tried some other distribution as well, which is PikaOS. Okay, so PikaOS is Debian based. All right, and this is quite awesome as well. PikaOS is quite awesome. Anyways, so as you can see, it is built on Debian base, so which tend to be a little bit more stable. Okay, and once again, don't get me wrong, PikaOS worked like a charm. Okay, you can use PikaOS as well, but the problem is with the PikaOS and the Debian based Linux distribution is that you can install many of the applications by their software center and apt, which is the preferred package manager, but you will miss out many of the other things as well. Okay, so PikaOS is good for gaming, but for development I think it lacks a little bit. Once again, it is far better than Windows, so don't get me wrong. Okay, so I have used PikaOS as well for some time, and then I thought, okay, let's get back to CachyOS. So I did that, and in case if you have seen my like the Python course, basically the Python course I have recorded in CachyOS, and it worked like a charm. But with that being said, I was able to break my system 3 times with like CachyOS. Okay, so sometimes like the KDE, I was able to delete the KDE. Sometimes I was able to delete the whole virtualization of the like the operating system packages, some such as QMEU, in case if you do know about that. And yeah, so CachyOS is really great, but it might be a little bit unstable. Okay, so I thought like, okay, what exactly is the solution? So then I went back to Windows for some time as well. Okay, so but I wasn't very happy with the Windows and the state of Windows. Okay, and Windows is very resource hungry on my machine. I have a kind of a decent machine, but still, I really wanted to have a operating system which looks good, and also it is light on my machine. So I installed Ubuntu, the Ubuntu desktop. And to be honest, it is working like a charm. Okay, it is working like a charm. So Ubuntu is really, really stable. It is based on Debian, but Ubuntu has an advantage, which is Ubuntu PPA. Okay, so as you can see, personal package archives, which is Ubuntu's strong point. Okay, so whenever you want to install something, some of the packages which you want to install basically in your machine, you can install it via apt. Okay, then you can have the flatpak support as well. So if I just open Bazaar, all right, not this one, so let me just open this one. So this is the Bazaar application, which is for managing flatpaks. Okay, so I have used quite a lot of flatpaks, as you can see here. Okay, there are a bunch of flatpaks here, and with that being said, I am using the PPAs as well, the personal package archives in Ubuntu, and it works like a charm. And as you can see, Ubuntu is the very well-known Linux distribution, right? And it is the base of many of the other Linux distributions as well. And most of the time, if you are looking for some applications, there is a high possibility that it is already available for Ubuntu. I cannot say it for the Arch Linux, that particular thing. And you might argue to me like, hey, we have the AUR, right? We have AUR, but many of the times there is a question mark about the publisher and the things which has been published into AUR. And it is impossible to keep track of the published packages. It is a bunch of packages, right? There are a bunch of packages which are being published on AUR. Okay, so with that being said, I am using Ubuntu with GNOME desktop environment. And what I am liking about GNOME is that everything is well sorted and well configured. As you can see here, everything looks very beautiful, right? For example, if I just open something like Firefox, as you can see, it looks like a very native application, right? But I cannot say it when I have been using the Firefox browser with KDE Plasma. There, the Firefox browser looked very out of place. Okay, so as you can see, there are rounded corners everywhere and so on and so forth. The Chrome based like the browsers such as Brave, this looks a little bit different. Okay, but I can bear it. Okay, it is better than KDE Plasma in my opinion. Also, we are having the Electron applications such as VS Code. If I just open this one, as you can see, VS Code opens so quickly, very quicker than Windows. Okay, and as you can see, this is my VS Code. For example, if I just go to the test here, this is basically a demo project, but my development workflow is quite awesome with Ubuntu. Okay, and I will show why is that, because I have been using VS Code as my code editor. Also, I have been using Ghosty as my terminal. As you can see, I am using ZSH, okay, which is really awesome, which you cannot install in Windows. You have to use WSL or something else. Okay, so ZSH is quite good. I can do a fast fetch here as well. As you can see here, we are having Ubuntu 26.04 LTS, which is the LTS version. Okay, then we are having all of this. It is using Welland, which is really, really great. I am using macOS cursors. I am using the Inter font because I did not like the Ubuntu Sans font. Then, as you can see, we are having the theme, which is the Yaru Blue Dark. We are having the theme, which is the Yaru Dark, which is the default theme in Ubuntu, which looks awesome. Okay, and then as you can see, there are some of the things. So this is my CPU, my GPU, which is RTX 4060. Okay, and also I am having the integrated GPU here as well. Okay, then I am having this memory, which is saying 6 gigabytes, but in Windows it is the idle usage. Here I am using the screen recorder, which is the OBS Studio, as well as the browser, and then I am having 6 GB of memory allocated. Okay, which is really great. All right, and then we are having the things here, the disk space and my IP address and so on and so forth. Okay, so as you can see, this is really great. So the development experience in Ubuntu have been a really great experience for me. Okay, so I am really enjoying that, and I will highly recommend you, if you are a software engineer or a developer, you should try using Linux, and you should try using the Linux distribution, which is a little bit more stable. Okay, in my case, I really like Ubuntu LTS because it is stable for the next 2 years. Okay, and that is really great. Also, in case if you are wondering about the gaming, as you can see, I am using Steam, I am using GeoOverlay, and here are many of the things here, okay, about gaming. So games runs well as well. Okay, all right, and for the office work, I am having LibreOffice. For the image editing, I am having GIMP, although I use Canva for most of the time. Okay, and this is basically it. Okay, as you can see, I do not have bunch of applications. Many of the things are pre-installed. I am having a bunch of browsers also here because I am a web developer and I like to try my applications while developing in different browsers. Okay, also there is another thing, which is the local send. This is a really great application for sending like the files through your phone to your computer. Also, here, as you can see, we are having GS Connect here as well, which is a GNOME extension by which you can use the KDE Connect, which is another thing which you can use to share files through your computer and your smartphone. Okay, so okay, Bluetooth is on. I will turn it off. Wi-Fi, I will turn it off here as well. Okay, awesome. So this is basically it. Okay, so this is my Linux journey so far, and I am currently using Ubuntu, and to be honest, I am planning to use Ubuntu for the next couple of months here as well. Okay, so I hope that you have enjoyed this video, and if you have enjoyed this video, so please like this video, share this video, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.